Hey guys, welcome back. In my last episode, we left you guys hanging on an unpaved road to Jenolan Caves. In this episode, we'll be finishing our journey at Bathurst, and we'll also be touching on some few good places on the way. I'll also be giving an honest feedback on the Royal Enfield Classic 500 which we took for this journey. So what are we waiting for? Let's get back to that unpaved road and continue our journey now. See you soon. Call it luck or destiny, we finally made it into a small town called Rydal, where we got directions to Jenolan Caves. We made it just in time to check in and grab some dinner. Our bodies were tired with all the riding and shooting we did, but our hearts were at ease and couldn't wait for more adventure tomorrow. Getting ready in the morning to go out on the road and see a bit of Jenolan. This place is beautiful. It's caves all around, and they've actually named it the right way. They're calling it the Jenolan Caves Refuge. It is indeed a refuge, and nobody would know that there's such a place existing deep inside this wilderness. And you know, it's filled with wildlife. You can see kangaroos and rabbits and birds everywhere. After a bit of sightseeing and breakfast, we started on our journey. While riding the hilly roads of Jenolan, with the wind hitting my face and the distinctive smell of fresh grass triggering my senses, this took me back to my uni days, riding my dad's 95-year-old model Royal Enfield 350. But what we have now is a totally different bike. The feel, sound and power was completely different. Aesthetically, the Royal Enfield takes you back to the early 18th century. A great deal of attention is given in styling this motorbike to reminisce the genesis of motorcycling. Royal Enfield has put some serious effort in finding that thin line which balances out the classic looks versus the technology it could pack together. But looks alone is not everything as far as motorcycling is concerned. You always get what you see. Now let's take a look at those three main components which turns a cycle into a motorcycle: the engine, suspensions and braking. Firing up the 499cc single upright cylinder, the Royal Enfield Classic 500 spits out a torque of 41.3 Nm at 4000 rpm and 27.2 horsepower at 5250 rpm. That doesn't sound much. Well, let's take a look at the whole package then. The Royal Enfield Classic 500 is equipped with a telescopic suspension in the front and a twin gas charged suspension at the rear. They have allowed for a 280 mm disc brakes at front and 152 mm drum brakes at rear to stop this 187 kg motorbike. To tell you the truth, the numbers look quite underwhelming. The sweet spot to be on highway was around 90 km per hour, and pushing any further than that, you are straining the engine and vibration starts kicking in. Since the bike has an upright seating position, taking decent lean angles would be presumed to be achievable. Not sure if it was the suspension or the wheelbase of the bike, lean angles at high speeds felt a bit nerve-wracking. But the real question is, does Royal Enfield want to offer an overwhelming high-performance motorcycle through its Classic 500 series? Absolutely not. Being the oldest production motorcycle in the world, they are quite clear on what they are offering. The Royal Enfield Classic 500 is a heritage motorcycle for the learners market or for people re-entering motorcycling after a long break. It is best suited for commuting in and around city and suburban roads. They have kept the bike really basic intentionally not to confuse novice riders. Having a naked body gives an easy access to the engine parts for maintenance. And an upright seating position gives the rider better control while riding. If there was something I would have added to this bike, it would have been a rear disc brake and an ABS for added safety, considering the company is mainly focusing on the learners market. So, to sum it all up, it is a cool and classic motorcycle costing just under 9,000 Australian dollars, which can take you from point A to B and still turn heads with the heritage it bears. We did a fair bit of riding by now and reached the historic town of Oberon, where we decided to take a break at the Oberon Dam. Conceived in the 1940s to supply water to the shale oil industry, it now supplies water to nearby power stations as well as meeting stock and domestic needs. The bikes also attracted some crowd, and we made friends with a local named Tom who shared some of his motorcycling stories. Tom also gave us the best direction to our next destination, Bathurst. It was by around 5 p.m. we made it into Bathurst, our final destination. Set in a wonderful natural environment with warm summers, clear crisp winters, occasional snowfalls and beautiful spring, Bathurst is one of the region's most beautiful cities, offering a diversity of attractions and activities. But for motor enthusiasts, these attractions seems to be not that important when opposed to the Mount Panorama racing circuit. Initially used as a vantage point by the native Wiradjuri tribes, it was Mayor Martin Griffin's vision to transform this valley filled with sharp hills, hairpin bends and a fast downhill straight into a racing track which would inspire awe among the motor enthusiasts in Australia. Today, Mount Panorama stands as an icon in Australian motor racing history, which has given the world some good race drivers. Most famous among the races is the Bathurst 1000, which is a 4-day event covering 1000 kilometers on the race day.